Hello, my divinities. So today we are going to have a very interesting collective because we have a solar eclipse coming up on Wednesday, October 2nd. And being Monday, we're a couple of days away. We have some time to prepare, but I want to share something with you. So over the weekend, I was like heavy meditating because I kept getting this download that there was one last thing I really needed to let go of. And I was like, I feel like I pretty much let go of almost everything, but show me what it is. So I would meditate. And while I was meditating, I realized that I have accepted, integrated, and expressed a lot of my emotions, a lot of the shadow that I used to repress and suppress. The only one that I still struggle with. And it's not, how to put this? I have gotten to a place where I accept my anger. I know that when I'm angry, it is an indication that either my boundaries are not being respected, I am not being respected. It shows me I could be hurt. Maybe there's a sensitive topic there. Like there's so many things I know now not to shut it down. However, I'm very careful with my anger. Just to give you an example, back when I used to be married, the one time that I just unleashed on my ex-husband, who is now my ex-husband. By the time I was done, he was in fetal position, crying. And I was like, I think I broke him. And at the time, I was still super religious. So I still wasn't cursing. I wasn't, I still had a lot of restraint to who I am now. Now imagine I've lost the fear of being holy. It made me even more careful with my anger because I always felt that I know the type of energy I have and hold within me. And I'm always afraid of how badly I can hurt people if I let loose. The thing is, what my guides were telling me, and it came through a download and then I got several confirmations and I was like, oh. What they were telling me was like, yes, but because you're so afraid about hurting people, when people hurt you, you allow them to walk away with no consequences. You allow them to disrespect you, talk down to you, and you still show compassion. You still, it was like they were teaching me, I was still operating out of the very Christian mindset of turn the other cheek. Even if in my mind, I thought I was doing do unto others as you want done to yourself. They were like, yes, but the shadow exists for a reason. It's there to protect you. And you are still allowing yourself to be like almost defenseless because the shadow is what defends you. The shadow is what, this isn't crying my, the fan makes my eye water. The shadow is your protection. And so when you allow people to walk over you, you allow them to disrespect you, and you don't let them know how you really feel about it, you're so concerned about protecting their feelings that you are putting yourself in the position to be further disrespected, further talked down to, because you're making them feel like there's no consequence to treating you this way. There is no, the worst that can happen is you turn and walk away. And almost like they want me to, keep in mind, there's a balance, right? It's not like they want me to unleash on everybody who annoys me. But when I am thoroughly disgusted by somebody's behavior, they want me to express that. When I am emotionally repulsed by someone's actions, they want me to express that. And stop worrying about their hurt feelings, because sometimes our feelings need to be hurt for us to correct our actions. So I'm not only doing a disservice to them, I'm doing a disservice to myself. So I thought that was so interesting. And it felt like the theme of today's reading, that's what it's going to be. We're going to be looking into that because that is such a delicate delicate line. Let's get into it. Let's see. What do we need to know about this energy? Because I felt like not only did I immediately know I needed to share this with a collective, but I felt like this is not just me. First card we got is the Desert. Okay. Which is number 37. Okay. We've got the Mirror. We've got Thanatos. And we've got the Sustainer. Okay, let's see what the overall energy is. It's called the Empty Room. So let's read these energies. Let's start with the Empty Room. That's number, I forget what the L is. Let me find it. Number 42. So I think the L is 50. Yeah. Okay, here we go. This represents the vortex, the abyss, the nothing. The archetype of the empty room is also portrayed as the hungry ghost, always feeding and never satiated. A day of silence is a surefire way to harness the power of the empty room. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness. Be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. When in light, this energy is spaciousness, potential, and possibility. When in dark, addiction, insatiability, more for more's sake. Okay. Now let's see the desert. That's number 37. Okay. So number 37 says, it represents the drought, the wasteland, the badlands. The desert is alive and pulsing with energy despite its desolate appearance. Turn toward it rather than away from it. When in the throes of the desert, contemplate the following. You are not alone. You have more supplies with you than you think. Water is very near. The desert leaves us disoriented, desperate for direction, grasping for meaning, longing for solid ground. For endless miles, we are confronted with a lack of clarity and existential dread. We are thirsty, hungry, pleading with life to get back to normal, to become animated by the simple pleasantries of day-to-day life. The desert offers no such comfort, and all must pass through it. If you can embrace the discomfort of the desert, knowing you will someday reach water again, you can tap into the potent energy of the landscape. Its lights are blindingly bright, and its darks terrifyingly deep, which makes for unbridled creativity and clairvoyant visions. Truths reside in the desert that otherwise remain hidden. The crows, the shadows, and the coyotes' call surround you. Let the winds and sands work their deep magic, weary traveler. When in light, surreal, strange, unexpected visions in silence. When in the dark, drying, deadening, disorienting, and isolating. Okay. And then we've got number 68. The Mirror. This is the reflection, the illusion, the looking glass. Speak to yourself gently and kindly in the mirror. It will feel awkward at first, but it is a sure way to become friends with yourself. For further reflections, read the poem I Am Not I by Juan Jimenez and Yoko Ono's mirror piece in Grapefruit. We look into mirrors every day without recognizing them as portals into another realm. They can shatter, flatter, distort, reflect, and project an image back to us that we deem to be true. The energy of the mirror is all about self-perception. When the archetype of the mirror appears, we are in the mythic land of Narcissus, who saw himself reflected in a pool and fell in love with his own image. So compelled by his reflection, he could not turn away, a fixation that eventually led to his death. Recognize the power and danger of the mirror. It is a construct, one that may drive a shard between you and your true self. The mirror contains trickster energy. Put the phone down, stop with the comparisons, and let the mirror stand empty for a while. Rest with the one inside. When light, witnessing the deeper self, pure awareness. When dark, narcissism, comparison, harsh edges. Okay. And then this one is number 73. Thanatos. Oh, death. Facing Thanatos, or death, leads us to Aletheia, which is truth. There are those with a great gift for navigating Thanatos energy. Thankfully, we find these generous souls in emergency rooms, hospitals, hospice centers, and the like. It is tempting to oversimplify death and sum it up as transformation. But the true archetypal resonance of Thanatos cannot be easily assimilated or contained. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an eternal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the ending of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. We are forever changed by Thanatos as it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control in every form. It leaves a mark of ash upon our heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually, with more compassion and wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies an initiation into the underworld. This is so fascinating. Before we even move forward, this is so fascinating because that's what they were telling me. My guides were basically telling me, you're about to be initiated to an even higher level of connection to the underworld and the higher realms, but you need to face this one thing. So the death is connected to initiation. Ooh, okay. Let's look at number 24, the Sustainer. The Peacemaker, the Upholder, and the Preserver. Contemplate what truly sustains you. Make a list. Notice how simple yet powerful those things are, and spend some time tending them. Take note of the difference between maintaining and sustaining. Which action describes your life more accurately? The Sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The Sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to archive, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the Sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the Sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The Sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. When in light, abundant, generous, supportive, reliable. When in dark, overworked, resentful, trapped, and tired. I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing with this one. Because the other part of the message was that it's also why I hold so much resentment when I do end up walking away from someone, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whatever it is. When I walk away, I'm done. But I also hold resentment because there's so much I didn't say. because there's so much that I wanted to tell that person, and I never did because I was so worried about how I was hurting them. And then there's also the resentment of, if I can withhold my anger, and I know how great it is. I have a huge temper. I mean, huge. I am not a soft person all the time. Anyways. If I can withhold that, why can't you withhold yours? And I interpret that as a lack of love. They don't love me as much as I love them, because I'm willing to sacrifice the rage I feel for their comfort, but they're not willing to do the same for me. And here it's saying, so stop doing that. Stop doing that. Because clearly it's just leading to resentment. It's just leading to this sense of, I'm always overwhelmed. I'm always doing the most. When this one makes me think that it really has to do with something else that came through. And this isn't pleasant, but this is vulnerability. I want to share this with you guys. A big piece of why I also withhold my anger is because I still connect to the piece of me that believes that anger is ugly. Like, I'm afraid of how ugly it'll make me when I spew venom, when I say things that are going to cut deep into that person's soul and psyche. And this is like, well, why do you care about how you look? Stop worrying about your image. Worry about your authenticity. Because I think that this is also connected to, it almost feels like the empty room energy felt like it's what leads me to believe that I will never find somebody that's at my level, but it's because what I'm asking is almost superhuman. Like, most humans will show that side of themselves. And I should be able to do so too. And I have kind of cornered myself to not be able to do so because I believe it's ugly. And my family was not only very religious, but they were very much about, they would fight, but they would fight in a way that was like, they didn't want to be trashy. Okay. Being trashy to my family was like a no-no. So yes, they raised me to have a lot of manners and a lot of politeness, but when it comes to expressing the side of us that's ugly and it's raw and it's primal, I struggle with that still, because I'm like, oh, that's so trashy. Like, me dressing like this to my family is trashy. But I've gotten to the place where I'm comfortable with this. One day I will get to the place where I'm very comfortable expressing when I'm fucking angry, and I'm going to be able to say it without any filter. And I feel sorry, honestly, for the people who cross my path, because I really feel like I've gotten to this point where I really don't want to hold it back anymore. I just don't want to anymore. I'm done thinking about their feelings and not my own. So I felt very drawn to 2 different oracle decks, and then we will get into tarot. So let's see. Mm-hmm. Overall energy of the temple path. The temple path has to do with our spiritual path. This is, and beneath the anxiety. I give myself anxiety, and I'm only sharing this with you guys because I feel like you connect with this on some level. Because as soon as the realization hit and all this clarity started coming through, I felt like this is something the collective that I connect to most likely needs to hear. We give ourselves anxiety when we're always putting other people's comfort first, always. Because then they look at us like, oh, you would never hurt me. But it gives them license to repeatedly hurt, mistreat, abuse, walk over us. That's not okay. So, temple path. This is connected to our spiritual path, our spiritual journey. It's been holding back our abundance. For those of you who connect with this message, the garden and the gate. I don't know, for those of you who are on TikTok, I don't know if you know who Drew Afualo is. I love that woman. I love her. And I used to be like her. And I had just unleashed. I felt like I was in my evil era. That was before I got into shadow work. And I feel like there needs to be a balance of those two pieces, because at the time when I was just unleashed, I was just trolling, honestly. I was just fucking with people because I could. And now it's about, no, I will only fuck with people when they deserve it. But this makes me think of, it's the garden and the gate representing, she has the key. You see here, she has the key to open the gate and explore further. But the thing is, she's got her little garden. She's in a very comfortable enclosure. It's very much the energy of fear of what's beyond that. Who are we outside of our comfort zone? Now this one I do want to read, Goddess of the Moon, because I feel like it has to do with, that's what they told me. In the downloads, they were showing me that I was actually holding back not only my creativity, but some of my spiritual gifts by still shutting down that part of myself. So I was like, oh, hell no. People are going to feel my wrath. I'm done holding back. Okay. So this is intuition going within. This card shows an eternal spirit holding the bright reflective moon and standing in front of the crystal clear waters of a sparkling waterfall. Her arms are outstretched. Her arms are stretched upward, receiving the light of the moon, the light of inspiration. This card is all about intuition, the ability to receive insights from your soul's point of view. Receiving the card upright tells you that you have the power to get intuitive information on all types of issues, and now is the time to use it. The Goddess of the Moon brings you all sorts of information, from the mundane to the spectacular. For instance, you could get the urge to take a different route home from work and find out later that you've avoided a 3-hour traffic jam. Or you might have an idea for a great invention, a stock investment, or a spellbinding novel. This card could also indicate a significant blossoming of psychic ability and mediumship, even on a professional level. You're always blessed with this ability to connect, but this card is telling you that now is the perfect time to open up. Get ready for the amazing inspiration this brings. And this comes after this. When we step out of our comfort zone, and for me, I know now what it is that they're asking me to step outside of my comfort zone for. Not only will abundance come, even stronger spiritual gifts will come. And it's all connected to my spiritual path. So let's start. Now let's get into the tarot. We're going to be using the Light Seer's Tarot. Let's see. Look at this shit. First two cards. Ace of Wands, and it looks like a flame right in her third eye. Flame and the Tower. Ooh, this is not just any type of inspiration. If you resonate with this, if you resonate with me and what I'm currently going through, you're about to get hit with some massive creativity. Whatever this is, it's life-changing. It's the Tower. It's life-changing. I know what I'm telling you. It's life-changing. Hold on, let me fix these cards real quick. It's life-changing. I just don't think you realize how much your life is going to change when you look at this. 9 of Pentacles. Your abundance is about to skyrocket. Skyrocket. I mean, not only did we just get the 9, it was followed by the 10. So we're not just doing independence type finances. We're doing legacy type finances. We didn't just do the 9 of Pentacles or the 10 of Pentacles. We did the 19 of, like, wow. Okay. Let's add another pentacle on top of it. We just went to the 20 Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles. God damn. Okay. Talk about that was a blockage. Because honestly, yeah, I really was. Look at this. Look at this. 8 of Swords. Remember the mirror, right? The mirror was one of the oracle cards, and here she is in a mirror, and in the mirror, she is tying herself up when in reality, there's nothing binding her. We bind ourselves. Nobody can tell us how we should or shouldn't represent ourselves. Only we can. And look at that, 3 of Swords. Not only was she, me, and anybody who connects with this, binding ourselves, but we're also holding in a lot of pain. We also hurt ourselves because we never get it off of our chest. There's a person I know who is one of the biggest gossips I've ever met in my life. But there was one thing that they would say that I thought was funny. In Spanish, they would say, mi pecho no es bodega. As in, my chest or my heart is not a warehouse. That was their excuse for why they went around saying everything that they saw. But it meant they weren't going to be storing it up. And that just came up now. Mi pecho no es bodega. Because I think that you need to stop storing all the things you want to say. Say them. I'm hearing this song now. Hold on. It's I think this is, yeah, I think it is. All the Things She Said by Tattoo. It's saying all the things she said, running through my head. And that keeps going over and over and over. And it says, I'm in serious shit. I feel totally lost. If I'm asking for help, it's only because being with you has opened my eyes. Could I ever believe such a perfect surprise? I keep asking myself, wondering how. I keep closing my eyes, but I can't block you out. Want to fly to a place where it's just you and me, nobody else, so we can be free. And all the things she said, running through my head. And that goes over and over and over and over. And it says that I'm all mixed up, feeling cornered and rushed. They say it's my fault, but I want her so much. Want to fly her away where the sun and rain come in over my face, wash away all the shame. When they stop and stare, don't worry me. Because I'm feeling for her what she's feeling for me. I can try to pretend, I can try to forget, but it's driving me mad going out of my head. And then it's all the things she said, running through my head. And it says, Mother, looking at me, tell me, what do you see? Yes, I've lost my mind. Daddy, looking at me, will I ever be free? Have I crossed the line? And then again, all the things she said, running through my head. So that definitely resonates for me because I know my parents are all about restraint. What's proper, what's polite, what is good for everyone else. They are definitely all about turning the other cheek, and I am done living that way. And I'm from today onwards, you might see a very different side of me because I feel like I'm opening those doors. Because honestly, I think one of the things I've always prided myself on, and that could also connect with the Queen of Pentacles, is my patience. I've always prided on how much I can take, how much I can endure. And I thought it was funny that other people couldn't restrain themselves. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? I need to stop restraining myself. Because it's just causing me pain. Look. This is what it feels like. Look at that. Like a piece of me has died. A piece of me, Rose, is dead. Rose is dead. And Solora is born. Because with the 9 of Swords, the only thing for me and for anyone who resonates with this, that holding back gets me is a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of hurt because I wanted to say things, but I was so concerned about how they would feel if I really told them how their behavior affected me or what I really thought about them, how it would hurt them. More Pentacles. Look, we already had 20 Pentacles. We got 2 more, 22. This is going to recalibrate you. I don't think for me, I know what this is now, right? And I'm sharing it with you. For you guys, whatever it is that you're releasing, it could be something totally different, but whatever it is that you're releasing is recalibrating your life. I knew I was going to use this deck ever since last night because this image kept popping into my head. Your creativity is about to soar. not just your creativity. You are going to feel fully in your feminine energy. King of Swords. Is this you or is this someone else? Let's see. The Hanged Man. The Page of Cups. Well, it could be both, so I'm going to express it both ways. For some of you, this King of Swords could be a person that's been... Oh, okay. It's someone else. We got a Queen of Swords. Okay, I'm still going to do it both ways. For some of you, this King of Swords could be somebody who has been wanting to express an apology. And whatever it is that you're recalibrating now, this person's going to come forward. But it's the universe giving you the opportunity to now express everything you want to express. And it doesn't mean you have to be cruel, right? You don't have to, it's not like I'm stepping into this energy of, I'm going to tear you apart. Even though I want to, I can still show restraint where I'm still going to get what I want off my chest. Like I'm going to say what I want to say, but that doesn't mean I have to be cruel or mean or hurtful on purpose, right? Some of it may come across mean, but it's not the intention. It's more about, I finally get to express what I want to express. 2, this could also represent pieces of you. The feminine, the Queen of Swords, was very focused on being diplomatic, being tactful. The King of Swords is like, I'm going to say what I want to say, regardless of who it hurts. That's how they are the leader. That's also why they also represent like the highest level of integrity, because they're more focused on being clear and being direct than they are focused on, oh, how is this going to hurt that person? Because at the same time, when we're always concerned with that, it makes us less authentic, because then we don't really say what we have on our mind, right? 4 of Wands. This is a turning point. For me, look at this. Justice card. Oh, wow. King of Pentacles. King of Cups. 2 of Cups. Okay. It could open you up to love, but it could also represent the fact that this is why you are fully in Empress energy now, because it's about integrating the masculine side of yourself, integrating the part of yourself that has no compunction, no worry about defending yourself, no worry about speaking up and expressing when something is not okay. I'm going to stop part 1 here. We're going to get into part 2 for $1 a month. You can see it on Patreon. So if you're already on that scale, I will see you on the other side.